Hello, my name is Kai Whetstone, and for my presentation, I chose to talk about the author Poppy Z Brite. So Poppy Z Brite was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, and was actually born a biological female but transitioned into a male. Some genres that are included in Poppy's works are horror, literature, fiction, and nonfiction. And just to give a little background history on some of Poppy's novels, Poppy loves to incorporate, sexuality because Poppy had to endure, the transition from a female to a male. So she incorporates a lot of that into her works. The series that I will be talking about that I think should be incorporated into this English literature class are The Value of X, Liquor, and Prime. So the first book that I will be talking about is called The Value of X. This book is about Ricky and G-Man during their junior year of high school. So during their junior year of high school, they basically, have grown up together and they're finding themselves caring about each other. So they struggle with, coming out of the closet to their family, and this story really talks about, the struggle with telling their family, how their family accepted it, and basically them embracing their sexuality. This story also goes into depth about how, Ricky's family tries to make him go to a culinary school in New York because they're just not accepting it, and then Ricky, tells them, I'm not doing that. I want to be here with the person that I care about. So this story is very significant to New Orleans because this city is very accepting to the LGBT community. They celebrate them and, their brain and their thought process, and, they really just support them. The next story that I will be talking about is called Liquor. So this is, the second book of this series, and this story also takes place in New Orleans, and it takes place a few years after Ricky and G-Man graduate from high school and they're out on their own. So basically in this book, Ricky and G-Man are working after high school and they become boyfriends. So they've embraced, their sexuality and they're together now. So they start off at this restaurant called Tequila Town, but get fired because they're drinking on the job. This, causes a lot of distress in their life, and eventually they meet this guy named Lenny who, looks at them and supports them and becomes their business partner. So Lenny hears, Ricky and G-Man out because Ricky comes up with this idea at a park, and he's like, hey, what if we incorporate, liquor in every dish that we cook? So Lenny believes in them and he supports them, and they open up their own restaurant. And basically, this novel, goes into great detail about the trials and tribulations of opening a kitchen in New Orleans and how the kitchen is ran in New Orleans. And this novel is very significant to how food, the culture of food and drinks, is in New Orleans, because food is very big here. It also incorporates the struggle of opening a restaurant and finding people to work in that restaurant. So I also think that should be significant to this class because, the people really come together here during, stressful times. The next book in this series is called Prime. So this novel takes place 2 years after Ricky and G-Man open their restaurant. And in this story, G-Man and Ricky run into problems with their business owner, Lenny, because Lenny, runs into trouble with a local district attorney, and the district attorney takes it out on Ricky and G-Man because of Lenny's actions. This novel is significant to the New Orleans culture as well because it embraces the struggle of running a business, and it also shows how humbling two business owners can be. And if you dream something, you make it your reality. Overall, this series should be incorporated in your class next year because these novels talk about discovering sexuality, accepting sexuality, the role that food and alcohol play in New Orleans culture, and the process of struggling but making ends meet. These books both incorporate the NOLA culture very well because here we celebrate by food, music, art, and of course drinking. New Orleans also celebrates the LGBTQ community and supports them wholeheartedly through all of their endeavors. From my time spent here, I've learned how the people of New Orleans support each other through tough times, like, the hurricane, and during the reconstruction of their homes here, they supported each other and they did, everything that they could. These 3 reasons are why I think this series should be included with the class next year. Thank you for listening.